In today's world, taxes are becoming increasingly important to the political structure and financial strength of our country, while simultaneously becoming more complex. This is further compounded as the population ages and their income situations become more sophisticated. Those knowledgeable about income taxes are some of the most sought-after individuals in the U.S. today. Each year, nearly every adult in the nation is faced with the daunting task of determining whether they will owe taxes or receive a refund. As taxes have become an ever-increasing part of the average family budget, it receives a lot of attention from practically everyone. Furthermore, nothing is as uncertain as the ever-changing and confusing income tax code. Every year, income tax preparers find they have more clients than the prior year with little marketing effort. One professional tax practitioner said that her tax preparation revenues jumped by over 70% in one tax season alone, and that's just the beginning. As the tax laws continue to increase in complexity, individuals that have done their own taxes all their lives are now looking for someone to help them. They're looking for you. Presently, over 60% of tax returns are completed by paid tax preparers. This number is increasing every year, as over 250,000 professionals nationwide are benefiting from this demand. By virtue of your interest in this program, you too may soon be one of them. We wish to congratulate you and offer our help and support in making this program your ticket into these ranks. We know that you'll soon find this program to be the best, most complete tax preparation training program in existence today. This translates into a great opportunity for you to start your own tax practice. As the demand increases, so does the financial opportunity. You may work part-time or full-time, generating either a supplemental or primary source of income. Some tax preparers earn enough income by April 15th to support themselves the entire year. If this is appealing, then this course is for you. On the other hand, this course is also ideal if you just want to ensure that you and your family are well versed in the tax law so that you can secure every advantage it permits. It's been said that all families need to have members well versed in 3 professions: health, computers, and tax preparation. Your family and friends will seek you out for the knowledge you have. The Professional Tax Preparer program is led by your instructor, Mr. Alan Bostrom. Mr. Bostrom is a CPA and the president of Universal Accounting Center. He has worked in the tax preparation field for over 20 years. You'll enjoy his clear explanations of what can be highly complex concepts. You'll also enjoy his fun approach to training, which will keep you entertained. This course was developed with you in mind. Each session begins with a brief narrated description of what's in the session, followed by the actual session taught by Mr. Bostrom, and ends with a recap of what was taught, which includes instructions for completing the work and 1 or more tax-saving tips. The 10 sessions in this module contain instruction that will enable you to complete the first page of the 1040 form used by the majority of taxpayers. Session 1, Getting Started, establishes some key criteria that will start you off on the right foot as you work with individual tax-paying clients. Sessions 2 through 8 direct you in calculating the total income for a taxpayer, which can include everything from wages and salaries to more sophisticated retirement plans. Finally, the last 2 chapters cover the various adjustments required to calculate the adjusted gross income, which is the last number on page 1 of the 1040 return. Your comprehensive workbook for Module 1 has a chapter that correlates with each session. At the end of each chapter, you'll find multiple choice questions and a learning activity that will test your understanding of the materials. The answers to each are contained in the workbook's appendix. After completing Module 1, you'll want to follow the directions you received with the coursework and take the module practice test. Most students that have completed all the reading and practice work have had no problem completing the test with excellent results. The Professional Tax Preparer program has 3 more modules. Each module has been developed to give you a more complete and comprehensive knowledge of tax preparation for individuals and businesses. We'll take a moment now to introduce you to the remainder of the program. Module 2, Becoming the 1040 Expert, takes you line by line through page 2 of this form. You'll learn how to begin with the adjusted gross income and apply adjustments that will arrive at the taxable income. You'll then learn how to calculate the income tax due. You'll also be introduced to additional taxes, tax payments, and tax credits that will complete the 1040 process. We'll wrap up Module 2 with instruction on how to pull the return together and submit it to the IRS. For the most part, these first 2 modules will track the line numbers on the 1040 return, and most lines will be discussed in depth. Please be aware that some of the lines on the 1040 form are used so infrequently that training will be brief to enable us to spend more time explaining other, more common lines. Where this level of brevity is used, we will explain why and where you can find more information, if and when it's needed. Module 3, Profitable Business Returns, introduces you to the lucrative and highly needed field of business returns. Here you will learn of the various business types and the tax forms that will serve each of them. You will become knowledgeable regarding sole proprietorships, partnerships, limited liability companies, C corporations, S corporations, and personal service corporations. You will learn how each of these business structures differs, as well as their tax advantages and disadvantages. You'll also gain practical experience in completing each of the returns needed for these business entities. This will include Schedule C, Form 1065, Form 1120, and Form 1120S. For many new tax preparers, business returns are intimidating at first, but the straightforward training and line-by-line explanations provided in your workbooks make simple work of most companies' tax preparation. The last module, Building Your Successful Tax Practice, is for the individuals that want to successfully start or build a profitable tax practice. This module will show you how to get started right, including how to grow your business through a proven marketing program, interview clients effectively, and charge the fee that will generate the income you need, want, and deserve. It is chock full of marketing materials that you can use immediately to get clients. Each session within the Professional Tax Preparer program ends with tax-saving tips that will ensure neither you nor your clients are paying $1 more in tax than you should. As these strategies are understood, you can provide the type of quality professional tax preparation and consulting services that every individual needs and is looking for. Since 1979, Universal Accounting Center has been training students in accounting and tax preparation skills. Tens of thousands have benefited from this practical, entertaining approach to training in complex financial issues. For more information on Universal's wide array of beneficial courses, go to the website on the screen. You'll find a vast knowledge base that is right at your fingertips. If it's about accounting, it's Universal. Now good luck and enjoy the course.
Welcome to your first session, Getting Started. During this session, you will begin with the foundations of tax law, including how taxation in the U.S. has evolved. After completing this session and reading from Chapter 1 of your workbook, you will know who should file a return, how to determine the individual tax status of taxpayers, and what constitutes a dependent resulting in an exemption. You will also begin using IRS tax forms and understand how to determine when the various returns and forms are due. Now, relax and get ready to take notes. Here's your instructor, Mr. Alan Bostrom.
Virtually every adult you meet is required to prepare taxes, which means that nearly every contact you make is a potential client. Some people think that we've had income taxes forever. Well, that's not quite accurate. The first type of tax was an excise tax on whiskey, which wasn't levied until after the Revolutionary War. In 1794, farmers in western Pennsylvania became disgruntled by the tax and revoked it. So President Washington sent militia to calm the revolt. This was called the Whiskey Rebellion. While there have been excise taxes on other commodities over the years, personal income tax didn't happen until 1862 when President Lincoln and Congress passed the first federal income tax laws. Before it was repealed in 1872, this tax provided nearly a quarter of the Civil War revenue. In fact, in 1895, the Supreme Court declared that the Revenue Act of 1862 had been unconstitutional. In order to make income tax legal, Congress had to pass an amendment to the Constitution. In 1913, that's exactly what Congress did. They passed the 16th Amendment, which then became law. That same year, the first 1040 forms were issued, and a copy of that 1913 1040 form is in your workbook. The tax rate at that time was 1% on personal income above $3,000 and 6% on income more than $500,000. In 1918, after World War I, the top rate of the income tax rose to a whopping 77%. That was later reduced and has since remained in the 20 to 30% category for the highest taxpayers. Since the 1950s, the tax law has undergone many, many changes, as I'm sure you're all well aware. And they continue to become more complex each year. In fact, today around 60% of all returns are professionally prepared, and that percentage continues to grow as more taxpayers decide that the tax forms are too complicated. So that brings us to the role of the professional tax preparer. Today, the goal of a professional tax preparer is to determine the least amount of legitimate tax. This means you must minimize the tax for your client as much as possible while remaining compliant with the tax law. You work for the taxpayer, not for the IRS, and you do not audit tax returns. Typically, you will interpret gray areas as you read regulations to the advantage of the taxpayer, not the IRS. Be assertive and take legitimate deductions using information supplied by the taxpayer in whatever form it is provided. For instance, a taxpayer may give you a handwritten list of deductions without any supporting documents. Since you are not auditing the return, you can use the list as valid tax information. You must maintain complete confidence of all client information. You will be privy to some personal information, sometimes information that close family or friends don't even know. It's up to you to ensure that the information remains private unless your client specifically allows you to share it. You must stay up on the tax laws affecting current and prospective clients. You must know how to find answers to questions you and they might have. The internet has truly simplified this process by giving us volumes of information at our fingertips. We'll talk later about where you can find these valuable resources. You must have a thorough and efficient interview technique. This is so important. You must get to the crux of the matter with all your clients. You must have a genuine respect and concern for the taxpayer. The professional tax preparer should never prepare a return fraudulently merely because the taxpayer insists on it. If a client suggests that you lie on the return, it's best to discontinue relationship with that individual.